It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas, and we have wonderful guests. And I'm going to have a guest that we've had on before, Mr. Fred Foster. And we're going to talk about those super minerals, and we're going to talk about some of the testimonials that we've gotten, including my own, since I started using the super minerals. So let me bring Fred on. Hi, Fred.
Well, hello. Good to see you again, Gail.
Yes, it's great to see you. I have to tell you, Fred, I love these minerals. I've been taking them, and I just feel so much more energized, so much more alive. My thinking is clearer. I just feel better overall, and I really mean that. I'm not just saying it. I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it.
Well, thank you, Gail, and I appreciate your honesty and your sharing that personal experience, because that's what happened with me too, and that's what is happening with hundreds and thousands of my customers as well.
Well, I think one of the big problems that we have is our food and our soils are depleted of minerals. And then the minerals that we do get, we have a substance known as glyphosate, which comes in and binds minerals and makes them not available to the body. The other thing I'd like to address is there's a lot of people out there that have different minerals. How are these minerals created, and why are they different than anything else?
Well, yeah, if you'd like me to delve into that, I'll be glad to do that, Gail. I've been working with these minerals now for 14 plus years. And so, at the beginning, I really didn't know much. I didn't know much myself. But over the 14 years, I worked with the atomic scientist that was the one that discovered these minerals in the first place. And so I can share what he has shared with us on how they were discovered and what makes them different. What makes them different than the other minerals that you see? There's minerals that you can buy at the health food store, for example, and you take those, and guess where they end up? They're not bioavailable. They don't go into your system. They don't, go in and energize your cells and organs and so on. They end up at the bottom of the septic tank. A lot of these minerals are really called minerals because, well, technically that's what they are, but they're made of ground up, crushed rock. And they're not transferred into a liquid type solution. They're not. And they're just ground up into teeny tiny little bits of crushed rock. And that's not digestible. That is not absorbable by our bodies. But they're sold that way, and you might get a little bit of benefit from them that way, but not the total benefit that our body needs.
Well, what I see as different, Fred, that I haven't even heard anyone else say about minerals or the minerals that they have is that these minerals, because of the nature of them, they neutralize substances that are harmful. So toxic substances are getting neutralized. And a great example is glyphosate.
Yes, it is. Yes. Yeah, in fact, well, these minerals were actually first discovered by an atomic scientist that was hired by the Japanese government to find a way to remove the radioactive isotopes from the waters around here in Hiroshima and Nagasaki from World War II. And it was while he was on that quest, Gail, that he discovered these minerals. And lo and behold, these minerals, when added to water that was radioactive, it did indeed remove that radioactivity from the water, neutralize that. And so when he decided to study it even further, and so he realized that these minerals actually come from volcanic regions around the world, and not just one location. It's around the world. It's prevalent around the world. And so he studied that and found how these minerals are actually made in a liquid format, not stones. They might start from stones, but they're turned into liquid. And the very highest or the richest source that he discovered is called biotite or black mica. And everybody's seen black mica. I mean, it's in the countertops in your kitchens. It's that sparkly looking. It looks like a stone, but with sparkly looking things on your countertop that glisten in the light, and light shines on it and so on. Well, that is biotite, or that is black mica. And he searched all over the world for 20 years trying to find the richest form of this biotite or black mica. And he found a source there close to him, which he then purchased the property from which he could get it. But let me explain, Gail, what really takes place in the volcanic regions. Why this is so different than anybody else's. You know, some people get it from like the Great Salt Lake or whatever, and they get it from this.
Yeah, yes, I've had minerals from there in the past.
Oh yeah.
But they didn't do anything like these.
Well, no, they may help. They may help some. They do, but they're not the minerals that God created on the earth originally from way back when the earth was first formed. So what happens, Gail, I'll share with you what was shared with me. And that is, in volcanic regions, you know, we have the veins under the earth, veins full of magma and lava, you know, and it's flowing in the veins of volcanic regions under the earth. You know, it's not necessarily where a volcano is erupting. You know, it might be erupting, but a lot of times they stay kind of dormant under the earth, inside the earth, but the magma is still flowing. But what happens is this magma, then it encounters granite boulders that have black streaks in them. The black streaks are, you know, right part of the granite boulder. They're the biotite or black mica, and it is solid. It is solid minerals, and so because of the high temperature of the magma and the pressure that's going on, when that boulder encounters the magma that flows upon it, it is so hot and the pressure is there, and it completely transforms that solid biotite or black mica into a crystal clear golden colored liquid. Now, this liquid then travels with the magma, and now it is part of the magma, and it gets flowing underground, and then what happens? It gets spewed into the lakes and the rivers, the bodies of water, the water aquifers, and so on. And lo and behold, when it's spewed into that body of water, that's where the transformation takes place. And that's where it causes the water that it's flowing into to become structured. And when it's structured like that, it causes a chemical reaction to take place. And that's where the toxins and poisons are actually transformed and burned up. And there's a three-part process that goes on with that in order to purify that water and get those toxins out. We have hundreds of lab reports where we have submitted these minerals now to these scientific labs that are certified by the EPA and so on. And they have tested, and they show that these minerals do indeed neutralize hundreds of different toxins. And one of the reports we did was on glyphosate. And you know how terrible that has been to the world with this glyphosate that has been prevalent, and used, by the big company that likes to make a lot of money selling that, but it's certainly harmful to human beings and so on. And our lab report shows that glyphosate is neutralized. And this glyphosate can get into the human body, besides, on the ground and kill the, certain weeds that come up in the with the cornfields or the wheat fields and so on. The glyphosate then kills the weeds, so that they have genetically modified the wheat seeds and the corn seeds and so on, so that any weeds that come up are destroyed by that glyphosate. But the weeds themselves, the wheat and the corn themselves, they're not destroyed by it, because they, that has been genetically modified. And so that's where these companies made so much money selling it to the farmers. And they say, well, hey, put this glyphosate on your soil and buy our seeds. By the way, you have to buy their seeds. You can't use. And
we weren't, as humans, that's not a natural substance at that point, and it's very difficult to absorb, and it's caused a lot of problems for people.
Right. Yeah.
And glyphosate is not a good thing at all. And the amazing part are these minerals actually neutralize it. And that was one of the things that concerned me, because I had a hair analysis done one time, and I did have glyphosate showing in my in my hair. So, which is an indication of what's in your body. Now, I'm going to bring up some of the testimonials from people, and then I think maybe this one in particular, you could address what's going on as we go through some of them.
Well, that'd be fine. Yeah. Well, this, I sent you a bunch of testimonials that were sent in by our customers, and these testimonials came from people in Canada, because in Canada you're allowed to talk about stuff like this, whereas in the United States, we, the EPA, the FDA, they say you can't talk about that stuff.
Right. And there are even private organizations masquerading as government agencies, and most people aren't aware of that, but people are becoming more and more aware all the time.
Yes.
And that is really a good thing. So these are testimonials then from...
this is one of them. And
right.
These are gallstones that were actually removed from a woman. And the picture on the left of the screen, where you see the smaller ones, that is actually what is left of one of the larger gallstones, just one gallstone. Whereas on the right you see multiple gallstones there. On the left there, one gallstone, just soaking in our mineral water, our treated water. It has broken up into the small pieces. Now, when a person has stones like this, whether it's kidney stones, gallstones, or whatever, it's extremely painful when they pass through your duct system and so on. But because of the minerals, what happened is that this gallstone on the left was just put into our regular treated water, and in less than 4 hours, it had broken down into these small pieces, and so they could pass through without that terrific pain that normally happens with it. So she was very, very excited, and so she wanted to show us why she was so happy, because now her gallstones were being treated properly, and even though they were surgically removed at the beginning there and passed, she was very, very happy that she discovered the minerals.
She might have been able to dissolve them by using the mineral water over a long period of time. Now, one of the things I want to mention is Conspiratory said that people think they are gluten intolerant, and that is from glyphosate. People didn't have that problem, and they don't have that problem in Europe, where GMO and glyphosate, that stuff is banned. I think that's really important because a lot of people have gluten intolerance, and it's from a high intake of GMO soy and corn and seed oils, and all of those are in our foods. And they convinced people that, oh, there's no difference. The FDA said, oh, there's no difference between the the GMO food and the other food, and you can't always taste the difference, but they guaranteed the farmers were going to make so much more money. And the fact of the matter is that is not proving to be true either. So they lie, and it's always about money and control. And this way they have control of the food supply when you have to buy the seeds from them. And
That's
it's
right.
actually causing problems, health problems for people as a result. And we could go into other areas that do that too. But that being said, we'll move on to another testimonial, if that's all right.
Sure.
There is one here. Let me see. Let me find it on the. I don't know if it'll change if I just do this. No, that's the wrong way. I don't want to go that way. This one, super mineral water pH test report, pH 7.07 tap water. After mineral water, are you seeing this?
Yes, I can see it. Yes.
Oh, okay. Sometimes you have to redo that, but that's good. Okay. So let me bring that back up.
Well, that's just one of the lab reports, right? The certified lab from the EPA certifies this lab, and we've sent a lot of information to the.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way again. Let's see where.
Yeah, you're
There we go.
different lab report. Now you're back to the. Well, that's still a lab report there.
That's in the. Let's see. Well, I'm looking for the. Well, hang on a second. Let me find what I'm looking for. I'll go to the page again. I don't know why it's not just going from one to the other. It's not doing what I want it to do.
Oh well.
So I will. Here, let me go back to the minerals. Oh, this one. That's not it either. Why am I?
No. You're only showing the one page of the.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Okay.
So I don't think you can do that.
Let me stop sharing for a minute.
Okay.
Until I find where I'm what I'm looking for, because I can read some of these reports. I printed them out, and I don't know why they're not showing. But anyway, I'm going to read one. Okay.
Sure.
And this one is from Diane Allen, and she said, I have noticed a tremendous improvement in my system in only 3 weeks, and I'm almost 83 years old. I have been on holistic medicine since I was 75 and had been doing very well until this year when I cut my finger with a sharp knife and it became infected, causing my body to get ailments such as bronchial pneumonia, insomnia, weird things like plantar fasciitis, to name a few. Since taking the super mineral water, I am sleeping through the nights awakened refreshed. My system is being rejuvenated. Taking foot baths, my plantar fasciitis is healing. I don't know if I said that correctly, but anyway. And the poisons throughout my system are being absorbed and leaving my body. I'm so thankful for learning about super mineral water and do not ever want to be without it. And didn't I just say that to you earlier, Fred?
Did.
That's how I feel right now, too, after using it. I don't want to be without it either. I just noticed a big difference in my energy level, my clarity and thinking, and so on. So please use the above as my personal testimonial. Thank you, Diane Allen. Okay, now here's another one from Gwen. I'm taking booster drinks for 23 days now, and I do notice things as my lungs are clearing stuff out. I recently stopped smoking after almost 20 years. I did not know that super mineral water would be able to help out with that, but it sure does. And yesterday, I had severe pain in my kidneys, threw up, but that is all gone in one day. Amazing stuff. Thanks for the extended offer. So I order some more. Gwen. So it's really why don't you explain what a booster is so people are aware of that?
Right. Well, the the atomic scientist that discovered the minerals, he gave them to a friend of his who's a medical doctor, a cancer surgeon. And it was this cancer surgeon was the first medical doctor to experiment with these minerals. Okay. And so in experimenting with them, he developed a 3-part protocol. And the first part is just where you add the minerals, like at the rate of, say, 1 teaspoon per gallon of your water, whether it's well water, your tap water, bottled water you buy from the store, or whatever, 1 teaspoon per gallon. And that's your drinking water. And that's the water that you would use to wash your fruits and vegetables, the water you would use to make your tea or your coffee or your soups or cook with it, whatever. That's number 1 part of the protocol, is treated water. Number 2 is what we call the booster drink. And that's what she was referring to there. Now, a booster drink is where, well, if you're first getting started, we recommend first thing in the morning, before you eat or drink anything else that goes into your stomach, you make up a booster drink. Now, a booster drink is a glass of the treated water. So it's already got the 1 teaspoon per gallon already in it.
And that's a gallon of water with 1 teaspoon of the product in it.
Water.
Just 1 teaspoon, yeah.
Okay. Just 1 teaspoon. Now, I have my water in my house comes from my well, and I live in an agricultural region. And all around me, the farmers are using all this chemicals and fertilizer, pesticides, glyphosate, all this stuff on the fields. And so it gets down into the water aquifer. So what I do, just to make sure, I put in 2 teaspoons per gallon, 2 teaspoons of the super mineral water in the gallon of water from my well, just to make sure. And you can do that. We've experimented, people have put all the way to as much as 11 teaspoons in. It's still healthy and so on. But that's just kind of like overkill. You don't need that much. But I do. I put in 2 teaspoons. So the booster drink, Gail, is where you take a glass of the treated water. It could be 6, 8, 10, 12, 16 ounces. I don't care what size glass it is. But what's important on a booster drink is that you add an extra teaspoon per 100 pounds of your body weight. Let's say that you weigh 150 pounds. To make a booster drink for a 150-pound person, they would have a glass of the treated water, and then they would add, because it's 150 pounds, 1.5 teaspoons extra of the super mineral water, and they put that in that glass of treated water. Okay?
I think that is so important nowadays too. When I think about all the, they always say watch the water, and we're having all kinds of water events, and contamination is widespread, and that booster is going to help clear things. Not to mention the energetic feeling. I think it electrifies the body, because we're electric beings.
Yes, we are.
And minerals are very important in all the enzymatic reactions in our body. And I can say that as a former nutritionist. And I figured out what I was doing wrong, why we weren't seeing all the other minerals. So I can share another. Let me try sharing one more time.
Well, let me just finish saying about the booster drink. Yeah, great. Okay.
Okay.
You're doing it, Gail. You figured it out. I'm proud of you.
I figure things out once in a while.
The other thing about the booster drinks, Gail, is that when you take one first thing in the morning, you should do it on an empty stomach. And you should wait 15, 20 minutes before you put anything else in your stomach, whether it's a cup of coffee or your other ingredients or whatever you want to take them with, other supplements or whatever. You wait 15, 20 minutes, because that booster drink in your stomach is going to begin detoxifying your body. And so if you wait, then it can give your body's the greatest opportunity to start that detoxing. And then this is what's really important if you're going to do a booster drink, Gail. You need to drink plenty of the treated water following that booster drink, especially throughout the day, because now that booster amount of minerals is going to cause your body to start detoxing. And And you need to drink lots of the treated water to help flush that toxin out of your body. And so that's very important, that the booster drink people that are taking the booster drink needs to drink plenty of the treated water following to get the most beneficial use out of taking the booster drink. So
Someone is asking, Fred, about what about Parkinson's disease? And before you say anything, I'd like to qualify that we are not medical doctors and we're not making any medical claims. We're just giving information about the super mineral water and speaking about experiences of people who have used it. So we just need to make that clear.
very good. That's important. We have to, unfortunately, we are governed by the FDA, and they say, you can't make claims like that. And
I call them the Fraud and Death Administration. They are actually a non-governmental agencies, just like all the other ones. It's the CIA, the FDA, the USDA, all that. It's all coming out. People are beginning to see the truth about all of those agencies, which is really. And we do have a list of the minerals I see with milligrams on. I don't know if it's on the bottle, but we got the lab report and we can bring that up.
Yeah, no, we do have, but before you go into what you're showing on the screen there of the flowers and what benefits the mineral water has for flowers, I'll address your question about Parkinson's disease. Well, quite a few years ago when I first got involved with this, I had a customer that out in Kansas that absolutely loved the minerals. And this customer had a friend, a chiropractor that lived here in Michigan, about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from where I live in Michigan. And anyway, my customer in Kansas contacted his friend that was the chiropractor, and the chiropractor had severe Parkinson's disease. Now, this was a very formative chiropractor. He had like 13 clinics with other chiropractors all working for him. But he developed Parkinson's, had the shakes and had to use a cane and a walker. And he even got a really strong helper dog and so on to help him if he fell, to get up and so on. And anyway, so my customer in Kansas contacted this chiropractor and said, you need to talk to Fred about these minerals. And so anyway, we talked on the phone. And I said, well, I can't guarantee anything, but, other people have reported, really great benefits with Parkinson's. I can send you some and you can try it for yourself and you can see it and you can let me know. So I did. I sent him the minerals. He told me on his 4th day of taking the minerals and the booster drink, all of his symptoms of Parkinson's went away on his 4th day.
They believe that Parkinson's is the result of pesticides and herbicides that people have been exposed to. So that tells me detoxification is taking place and bringing the body back into balance.
Well, we were so impressed that we wanted to go meet this chiropractor. So my wife and I and one of my other distributors and his wife, the 4 of us, we drove the 1.5, 2 hours to where this gentleman lived, and we met him and his wife in a restaurant. And he came walking in that restaurant with no cane, no walker, and so on. He just stood up straight and no tremors, no shakes. And we ate together a meal there. And he said, Fred, on the 4th day, all my symptoms went away. He was so thankful. And so that's one that we saw, the proof is in the pudding, there he was. And I've had him testify on other conference calls with me that I've been invited to speak as a guest speaker on many different conference calls. And I invited him to come along with me and speak as well as a chiropractor and tell his own story. So yes, we've had tremendous success.
I didn't mean to interrupt anything. That's absolutely awesome. I just want to mention something about New York is mentioning about it's 100 to 118 degrees, coming tired of the heat wave. And I was just reading about this, and just for your information, I know that I've looked. There's other places that are having, Phoenix is always really hot. Pahrump in Nevada is really hot, but they say this heat wave is going to be followed by a mini ice age. So we'll see. That's just a little info for you. Okay. Now the next thing are apparently we have minerals are appreciated by flowers. It says this one, I'll read it real quick. I have a testimony on super mineral water. I had a bouquet of red carnation and bells of Ireland, and another girl had a similar bouquet. I carry my water to work, so I fill the vase with the water treated with super mineral water. That was 2 weeks ago, and my flowers are still looking good. Here, bells of Ireland drooped last week. Mine are still fresh and green. Wow. I'm attaching the pictures of my flowers treated with super mineral water and my co-workers' flowers with the regular tap water. This little fuzzy flower of hers is all limp and drooping. Her leaves are dried up, and her sunflower is really faded and droopy, and her water is yucky. My sunflower is still bright. My fuzzy little flower is standing up straight, and tall leaves look good. Carnation is a brighter color, and the water is clear. In this picture, with both bouquets, of course, mine is on the right. Of course, it might be on the left on the screen. That gets confusing to me. Anyway, I think it says so under the picture there. Mm-hmm. So this stuff certainly does something. Blessings to you, Terry.
Well, yeah, we really recommend that people, they're growing flowers in their gardens. And if they cut the flowers and put them in a vase, what is very important that they can do is put a few drops of the super mineral water right in the water that's in the vase, and it will keep that cut flower lasting healthy much longer, 2 to 3 weeks longer than they would if they did not use the super mineral water. And so it's really all living things, Gail, all living things, whether it's human or plant or animal, all living things require high quality bioavailable trace minerals. And
bioelectric beings, and the minerals are what charge the reactions in the different reactions in the body, and they're part of the minerals. I mean, they're part of the enzymes system in just about everything. So it's really awesome is what it is. And I just love them myself. So let's go on to another one.
Well, there was a question that came up, where do we get these minerals? And on the screen there, you'll see a website, www.vitellausa.com. That's a website you can go to 24 hours a day. That is my website that we just put it up last year for the convenience of my customers so that they could order 24 hours a day and not have to just call me to place an order. So you can go there, anytime to that website, www.vitellausa.com. Okay, Gail, I'm going to tell a little secret here. Because of your putting this on your program, there is a coupon code that anybody that goes there and places an order, if they put in as a coupon code GOG, guess what that stands for? Gail of Gaia. GOG coupon code, then they will get a discount off the price of the minerals off that website.
Well, thank you, Fred. I appreciate that.
Yeah, they can do that anytime they want.
My audience deserves that. Yeah, they're great. Okay, moving right along then. Here's another one. Kimberly Stryker. Thank you so much. Super mineral water has gotten my pain from my IC, which I don't know what that is, which is an illness. I got off my medication and pain medication. I love you all for all your help and helping people with their lives. Thank you. Again, our medication is a lot of times it's toxic. Here's another one from Diane Allen. I have noticed a tremendous improvement in my system in only 3 weeks, and I'm almost 83 years old. Did I read this one already? No, I think I read it to myself, so sorry about that. I have been on holistic
There's
medicine.
several people in their 80s that are just,
Pardon?
there's several people in their 80s that have written in the tremendous benefits they've gotten at in that nice age, So some of
Not
the
many.
people only sound the same.
I have been on holistic medicine since I was 75 and had been doing very well until this year when I cut my finger with a sharp knife. It became infected, causing my body to get ailments such as bronchial pneumonia, insomnia, weird things like plantar fasciitis, to name a few. Since taking the super mineral water, I'm sleeping through the night, awakening refreshed. My system is being rejuvenated, taking foot baths. My plantar fasciitis is healing, and the poisons throughout my system are being absorbed and leaving my body. I'm so thankful for learning about super mineral water and do not ever want to be without it. Who knows? Maybe I can live to 103 like my mother now. Please use the above as my personal testimonial. Thank you, Diane Allen. So there's another one. And here's another one from Gwen. I'm taking booster drinks for 23 days now, and I do notice things as my lungs are clearing stuff out. I recently stopped smoking after 20 years. I did not know the super mineral water would be able to help out with that, but it sure does. And yesterday I had severe pain in my kidneys, threw up, but that is all gone in one day. Amazing stuff. Thanks for the extended offer, so I order some more. Gwen. Okay, here's another one. I'm a 64-year-old lady who thought I was losing my ability to think. I just moved on automatic. I assume this is probably how Alzheimer's starts. When I first took a sip of the super mineral water, I noticed a very, very slight electrical charge. I took ounce super shots in 2 to 3 ounces of super mineral water, followed by 2 16-ounce glasses of super mineral water. Was so sick and nauseous for 3 weeks as my body underwent heavy detoxification. That was a high dose she started with. I realized I should have gone slower, but was anxious to see what would happen. Fabulous news. My thinking ability has returned. Yay! 2 bumps, almost pimple-like, appeared on my forehead at the third eye area, and I believe the super mineral water completely cleaned out my pineal gland. My ability to think and remember has been coming alive. Amazing. I actually had to take a picture of the small bumps as no one would believe me if I told them. I can now think, dreams are clear, and I can remember them. I can remember lots of things now. I can hear the sound of energy, spirit again as it flows through my great feeling energetic body. My heart no longer has spasm. The heels of my feet were cracked and now are healed. My skin looks so much better. My desire to eat has gone away, way down, and after the holidays, I will diet and cleanse. This will help me get through the cleanse with ease, and it will put in my colonics. I notice I am not as cold as I live at an altitude of 7,300 feet. By the way, I also noticed all the bubbles and oxygen after the super mineral water sits overnight at this altitude. I need all of the magnetics and oxygen I can get. I put 1 teaspoon in 1 gallon of water and I let it set overnight. Yucky, slimy, peachy colored stuff is there the next morning, and I strain it out through a coffee filter. I write love and gratitude on my filtered gallon glass containers and set it on 1-inch selenite stone slabs, which really infuses it with light. The selenite is so very strong, it will actually turn the pre-filtered peachy stuff in the water white. I love my super mineral water. I actually drink more water. All the best from my heart, Lindsay. Now, I think at this point, we should add about the hydration of water when it contains the minerals as opposed when it does not. Do you want to address that?
Well, absolutely, yes. What one of my customers did, one of my distributors wanted to do an actual health test, and he hired a company that did testing of this water that's been treated with the super mineral water. And so what they did, they divided groups in people into two different groups. And one group, they gave them 5-gallon jugs of purified water from a company, that sells the big jugs of water. They have these machines you can put them in, and with faucets, and that you can drink from. And so anyway, both teams got these 5-gallon jugs. The one team just drank from the purified water, right straight from the 5-gallon jug. The other team's 5-gallon jug got 5 teaspoons of the super mineral water added to that 5-gallon jug. And then the medical team did testing on these two teams. And it was a 90-day test altogether. And all throughout the 90 days, they were testing and testing. And come to find out, the team that was drinking the water that had the 5 teaspoons of minerals added to the 5 gallons, they found out that their cellular hydration was increased 32% higher than the cellular hydration of the team just drinking the water that had not been treated with our minerals. So, they were astonished that the cellular hydration was so high because, scientists invented Gatorade, and Gatorade, that was invented for the sports athletes to hydrate their bodies and their sweating and so on. But Gatorade was found to only hydrate at a rate of 8%, whereas the teams drinking the treated mineral water was 32%, 4 times better than even Gatorade that was invented specifically for cellular hydration. Now, I'll mention this too, because in that same study, by the way, this company paid over $150,000 to have this study done, one of my distributors. But anyway, the other thing that they were testing for was the removal of heavy metals in the body. And so they were testing for the removal of lead, mercury, and arsenic. And lo and behold, over the 90-day period, the levels of lead, mercury, and arsenic was reduced a minimum of 92% with the treated water, with the minerals. And maybe because the people were drinking more water, which is healthier for them, in this study, the other team only got about a 2 or maybe 3% reduction in the heavy metals. But the one with the minerals, it was 92 to 99% reduction. So not only does it hydrate the body for cellular hydration at 32%,
That's big.
Helps get rid of the heavy metals in your body as well.
Oh, someone has a question. Oops. Let me go to this question here.
Well, let me address that first one there. Do the minerals need to be refrigerated? No, they don't have to be. Remember where these minerals were made? In volcanic regions, very, very high temperatures. Do they need to be? No, they don't need to be. And what kind of expiration date? Well, there is none. However, what we found that we need to do is that if you store these minerals in sunlight, because this water, mineral water, is so healthy that blue-green algae can grow, and if they get some spores from the air in the mineral water, the spores in the air can grow in that mineral water. So what I would recommend, and we've treated many ponds, and swimming pools, hot tubs, and swim spas, and so on. And if it's outdoors and it's not covered, then we found that over time, with the sunlight and so on, it can cause some blue-green algae to grow in that water because it is so healthy. But the blue-green algae is also a healthy form of it, so it doesn't hurt, but it's just not appetizing to be drinking water that's got blue-green algae in it. So
No.
so what we recommend is that it doesn't have to be refrigerated, but keep it out of the sunlight. Put it in your cupboard. Put it, store the minerals. Do put the cap back on the bottle. Do put the cap on, because these spores in the air, or you might have some black mold in your house or something. The spores can get into there, and because the water is so healthy, it can cause.
Yeah, I worry about the mold where I'm at, and I really believe that the water is helping me. I have someone, conspiratory, said she just ordered some, but she forgot to use the coupon code. So, and we want you to use the coupon code. I told her that if she called you, you would take care of that.
I will honor the coupon code. If she just emails there on the website, you can email. I'll tell you my personal email at the website. It's just fred@vitaliusa.com. Just fred@vitaliusa.com. Or you can just go to order at customer service. There's 3 different emails there you can go to, and just tell me that your name, that you placed an order. I will find that order. By the way, it's going to be shipped out tomorrow to you. Okay, well, I'll get it tonight, and I will have it all boxed up and ready to go out. It'll ship out tomorrow to you, and what I will do is I can refund your credit card. I can take your, we can do that. So if you let me know that you ordered it and forgot to use the coupon code, I'll take care of it for you. No problem.
Topaz, you're saying, I guess you meant something, Gail of Gaia. I thought you had a live right now. This is a live. We are live. I think we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. There's people have been having different glitches in their internet and equipment and so on. So, but we're live. It still says that we're live, so we're good. Okay. Moving right along, we could do a couple more of these. This one here is by Myra. Okay. Let's see. I felt it was time to write. I first ordered 1 bottle, then the 3-bottle special. I started with the super shots right away. After the first week, I started to think, this stuff is crazy. What was I thinking, spending $400 on this stuff, and was even thinking about sending it back for a refund. But a voice from within spoke to me and said, have faith in this product. So I did. I've been taking it for about 1 month. This is my testimonial. First, I am so happy that I did not send it back. To me, this is nothing short of a miracle, and I thank my Heavenly Father, feeling like He was always sent me just what I needed at different times in my life. As I've gotten older, I have noticed a subtle breathlessness on occasion, but especially when climbing stairs or going up inclines. My son is at school where one has to climb up an incline that is maybe 35 degrees. It is a long stretch to get up the little hill, but looking at one wouldn't think that would make you breathless. Before the super mineral water, when having to climb the little hill, I would think about it. By the time I would reach the top, I would actually hide my face so no one would see that I was practically gasping for air. It would take me maybe 2 minutes to completely recover. It was alarming to me, and I would think, wow, I must be really out of shape. I visit the school once a week. The past 2 times I've gone and climbed the hill, I was amazed that I was not breathless. It was normal elevation of heart rate and by no means gasping. For the first time in years, I can take repeated deep breaths into my lungs. It feels so good to do that. I do notice phlegmy junk making its way out of my lungs too. I'm sure it's doing other stuff as well, which as soon as I figure it out, I'll let you know. I'm taking some to my mother in Florida tomorrow. Hopefully she will drink the water with the drops. She can be cranky and unbelieving. Love, Myra. Yeah, people sometimes don't believe, these things until they have to try it themselves, and everybody has their own response to it, and I think it addresses people's different issues, whatever yours might be, because like I said, all your enzyme systems use minerals to operate, and then plus it has the ability to remove or neutralize toxins, which is
Right.
amazing. And believe me, we're being hit with a lot of toxins.
That's right. And I noticed another one of our listeners sent another message in there, about the heavy metals and so on. And remember, when I was 65, this is 14 plus years ago, I was severely crippled. And it was because of the heavy metals in my body. When, as a little boy, I used to break the bulbs of these large commercial thermometers and play with the silver mercury as a little ball bearing in my hands. I didn't know I was poisoning myself with the mercury. But then, in just 5 short days, I was able to get rid of those heavy metals. Remember, in one of the other programs, I testified how the bottoms of my feet turned pitch black, and that was from the heavy metal mercury being forced out of my body through the bottoms of my feet. Yes, these minerals will get rid of the heavy metals. And remember that testing that one of my distributors paid over $150,000 to have a medical facility do. It was to measure how the heavy metals are removed from the body. Yes, absolutely. And then also that person mentioned about parasites. Oh my, do we ever have stories about parasites? It's very gross. You don't even like to think about them, but almost everybody has parasites. And these minerals will remove parasites from the body. And I won't even tell the stories here because it's kind of gross, about even snakes being removed from your body. But anyway, parasites, heavy metals, absolutely. That's what these super mineral water minerals do for our bodies. They help get us back into balance again, into homeostasis. And
It boosts your immune system by when your body has all of the things that it needs to operate at optimum capacity. And those are, like I said, minerals are very important in your enzyme systems. And most prescription medication, and you can ask Dr. Rima, Dr. Rima, I call her. I'm never sure about her last name, but Dr. Rima, she says that they kill all the enzymes in your body, or most, not all of them, but they kill a lot of enzymes in your body when you take prescription medicine. And these are actually doing just the opposite. They are enhancing your body's enzyme ability to work as it's supposed to, because we were created in a beautiful and wonderful manner, and everything has been done to try to keep that from happening. But anyway, here's another short little testimonial from Greg. He says, just so you know, I have had lower back pain for over a decade. I have been to chiropractors, had scans done, take MSM, nothing has worked. Just 3 or 4 days of super shots and drinking super mineral water, and my back pain is gone. Wow, it changed my life. Thank you so much, you guys, for introducing me to such an amazing product. Peace, Greg. What a great gift for holidays. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's what happened to me as well. The pain was gone. It's been gone 14 years. My life was given back to me, Gail. I was severely crippled. Now, 14 years later, I'm not on any medicine at all. I don't take any medication. I had diabetes. I had high blood pressure. I had cholesterol. And my doctor had me on all these different meds. And then after a month on the minerals, and I went back and had my blood redone by my doctor because I had to go every 3 months. And when the blood tests came back,
wow,
my doctor took me off all my meds. I couldn't believe it. A medical doctor took me off your meds? That's unheard of. But
I don't know.
Doctor said, hey, there's side effects on these things. You don't need them. You don't want to subject yourself to the side effects.
Any of you out there who do decide to order and use the products and you have an experience, please write to me or write to Fred, because we want to know what effect it had on you. And someone is saying, okay, conspiratory says, my sister has lupus. I just learned she's sweet but not awake. I'm going to get her to take this. It's all about the immune system. Yes, making it be able to function as it was intended is very important. And here she also.
Let me explain something real quick here for this lady that has the lupus sister or whatever. The medical doctor, the cancer surgeon that developed the 3-part protocol, this is what he taught us. He said there's 3 main things that these minerals do for us in our body. 3 main, easy to remember things. Number 1, we don't have the trace minerals in our food system anymore that we really need for our bodies to be healthy. And so number 1 is that the super mineral water provides very highly absorbable trace minerals for our body. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that because of the environment in which we live, the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food that we eat has all these toxins on it. And these trace minerals in super mineral water, if we use it, to treat our water, to cleanse that and so on, it helps get rid of those toxins that's in our body. And that causes sickness, illness, and disease. And number 3, believe it or not, is stress. Whether it's physical stress or mental stress or chemical stress or spiritual stress, it doesn't matter. Stress is stress on our body. And when you put these 3 things together, according to the medical doctor, he said, when you add the stress to the buildup of toxins in our body, to the lack of high quality bioavailable trace minerals, these 3 things, then it causes our body's own immune system to shut down. And the immune system, which was built into us by God when he created us, that is what has caused the pathogens that enter our body to be eliminated, to be taken care of. If we don't have an immune system that's working, then the pathogens just have their way with our body. And so without the trace minerals and using them, then we will have our bodies the immune system starts to shut down and we can't fight the pathogens. And so what happens in that case, then we start getting sick, and then we start getting ill, and then we start getting diseased. And so when you're doing these minerals in the proper way, it handles all 3 of those areas, whether it's the trace minerals we need, whether it's getting rid of the toxins in our body or handling stress. All 3 of these things, it causes our body to go back into balance. We call that homeostasis. We go back into balance, and when our bodies are in the proper balance, our body, the way it was created, the immune system fights off these things for us. That's why we can get well. So anyway,
That's just amazing, and that people are having absolutely amazing results. I mean, these are real people that have sent these testimonials in. Now, I don't know that we would have any testimonials about the spike proteins, but my guess is they would probably be affected as well. But I can't prove that, and I don't know that.
All right, I'll tell you one quick story. Okay, on that, we were informed by the atomic scientists that discovered these minerals in the first place, that they have done testing on that and on COVID and so on, and that in fact, I can send this to people if they wanted to know what the results are, how to do it. But if you take our minerals and add them a certain dosage of them in you can actually get rid of the supposed COVID. Um,
Yeah.
so I say supposed because nobody's ever isolated it, ever, you know. So anyway, yeah.
Well, I stand corrected. I didn't know you had that. You had that.
Well, I know that was sent
well.
to us privately as, distributors so that we knew, and we can tell our people. I've sent that out to people, the how to do that and what to do. So it can help with that as well. Yes, it can. And there's other things you can do that you should do.
You have your own testimonial on the help the arthritis one, don't you, Fred?
Well, I do. Yeah. When I was 65, I was severely crippled, with arthritis. And that's why, when I watched that atomic scientist treat this pond that was filthy polluted, when I signed up for the water webinar, because I have a 28-acre estate here in Michigan, and the North Branch of the Kalamazoo River just runs and divides my property. I have 7 acres on one side, 21 acres on the other side. I live on the 21-acre side. But anyway, I wanted to learn how to purify that river water. And so I signed up because I received this ad because I was an executive in charge of computers around the world. And at 65, I was retired and subscribed to a financial newsletter. And up on the right-hand column, as I was reading this financial newsletter one day, up popped the ad, said, if you would like to learn how to purify the most polluted water in the world, sign up for this webinar. Well, okay, I wanted to learn how to purify my river water. And the reason I did was because back in 1976, my wife and I took our 3 sons out camping in Colorado. And it was on July 4th, the 200th birthday of our nation. We were up camping. And above the tree line in the Rockies there in Colorado, and the snow was still on the mountain there, but it was melting, and we could have snowball fights right there, in short sleeve shirts. But anyway, snow was melting and forming these little rivulets of water, and it looked so fresh and pure and cold. My 3 sons said, "Daddy, can we have a drink from there? It looks so good. We're thirsty. Can we have a drink?" And I looked around and I didn't see any yellow snow. I didn't see any reasons not to. Well, probably it'd be okay. So they did. It was a bad decision. For the next 3 days, they had diarrhea so bad, it ruined the next 3 days of vacation. But anyway, it was that memory in mind that I signed up for the webinar to learn how to purify my river water. That's all I wanted to do. Because I figured, well, someday I might need to know how to purify, pond water or my river water to survive. So anyway, but it was during that webinar when I saw the atomic scientists add these minerals to that water. That pond cleared up. It was at the beginning you couldn't even see 2 inches below the surface. There was scum all over. It smelled horrible. The villagers were really complaining, but then after time-lapse photography, you would see that pond clearing, and then towards the end, he took a clear glass mug, dipped it right in that pond, and held that mug up in front of the camera, crystal clear, no floaties in it. It was crystal clear, and then he proceeded to drink it. And my memory went back to that time, back in 76, when my sons got the severe sickness. I thought, oh my land, does he know what he's doing? I saw that water at the beginning. Well, it was during that webinar, I also heard plenty of people saying that people with arthritis were reporting tremendous benefits by drinking water that had these minerals added to it. Well, now wait a minute. I didn't think about my health or my arthritis at all when I signed up for that. I just wanted to learn how to clean the river water. Well, when I heard that, at the end of the webinar, they said, if anybody would like to try these minerals, you can order them here. And so you know what? I did. I ordered some. And that's when they came. And my wife she's an RN, she works with the allopathic surgeons at the hospital. And so when the minerals came, I actually hid them in the back of my desk drawer. And I may have told this before on your program. But anyway, I hid them because I didn't want my wife making fun of me. So I started adding them to my drinking water. In secret, I became a closet drinker of these minerals. On my third day, my hands completely cleared up. On my fourth day, my shoulders cleared up. My fifth day, my entire body cleared up. I had no pain whatsoever. And whereas before then, I used to have to push myself to my side to get out of bed, then push myself to a sitting position on the edge of the bed, and then push myself to a standing position, kind of bent over, and until I could get my balance, and then I could step some small steps, but I walked like a crippled old man because I was severely crippled at 65. But on my sixth day, and I opened my eyes in bed, I realized I don't have a single pain anywhere, Gail. Not a single pain. And instead of doing the 3 pushes to get out of bed, I just leaped out of bed. I jumped out of bed and I started hopping up and down, twisting my body every which way to see if there was any pain. And it was gone in 5 days. Gone.
That's amazing.
Going on 15 years now, Gail. My life was completely changed back then. Back then, I could go back to golfing again, go back to playing softball. I could go back to gardening and rototilling, mowing my lawn. I could do all those things again that I couldn't because I was too crippled before. My life was given back to me when I was 65. I honestly believe, Gail, that if I had not discovered these minerals, that at almost 80 years old, I would not even be alive today. I really believe that with my whole heart.
This is so true. So these elder ones really think their doctors are gods. Unfortunately, that there's a lot of truth in that. So you have to have somebody that's open and minded enough to try some. But I'd like to read skip ahead to this other testimonial and read this one because it looks pretty amazing. It's by Robin. It says, I just have to share my new experience while taking super mineral waters. I have had severe arthritis, DDD, spinal stenosis, fibromyalgia, candida, hep C, depression, COPD, interstitial cystitis, chronic constipation for 20 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I started super mineral water 3 days ago, but did not do the booster drink, which now I had. I skeptically drank a large glass and felt a change within 5 minutes. Body tingled, head cleared, and I could breathe. Excited by this, I drank a liter and I have increased to 1/2 gallon a day. Today I started with a booster drink as suggested, followed by several glasses. Major improvements in all areas. My decision to start slow was due to my many health issues, and I didn't want to throw my system into shock. Been there, done that with other cleanses. I recently re-injured my neck and back disc problems, and now even my pain level is way down and my muscles don't ache like they did. Fibromyalgia. I tried so many detoxifiers and spent a fortune on remedies, treatments with some success, but no major overall improvements. Like now, I can feel and see the candida leaving my body. I'm experiencing a clear vaginal discharge, a good thing. I know I'm getting the parasitic candida cleansed from my system. I've experienced a discharge when taking 5-FLAC or some other candida cleanser. So I know what this means for me. And there has been no rapid die-off symptoms, period. Die-off would be so severe with many cleanses that I'd end up stopping before they could do the job. I'm also splitting up round mucus plugs intermittently, and I think my lungs, COPD, are clearing up as well. My energy level is greatly improving. I'm not running a low-grade temperature for the first time in years. That's inflammation. Had the first regular bowel movement this morning and usually have had to take a laxative. I still can't believe this awesome miracle liquid. I was worried about mercury, candida, and iron overload, a hep C problem, but my understanding is as the minerals are ionic and what is not needed and used by the body will be safely excreted through urination. I have been urinating a lot, but I've increased my super mineral water intake and also contribute this to detoxification process. This is also different than my usual urgent burning. I see flare-ups. My skin and hair, especially my hair locks, amazing after rinsing both with super mineral water. So I can't wait to bathe in this stuff. My skin is usually severely dry and hair dry and brittle, but not today. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and don't want to waste any more money on risky treatments or snake oils cures, this stuff is worth a try. It's made a huge believer out of me, so much so that I'm turning my friends and family onto it, something I've never done. Did I mention how great my tap water tastes? Yep, tap water. So no more fortune spent on water purifiers and such. Super mineral water has totally rocked my world in such a great way. So my gratitude to both is so immense and endless. You and super mineral water have given me a new life. Robin.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? You know, that's why at almost 80 years of old, I still do this. I still educate people about these minerals because I keep getting these stuff. Now, just in the last 2 weeks, one of my partners told two of the people that works with him about the mineral water. One person has been in pain for over 15 years. Over 15 years. Started on and this is only 2 weeks ago. Started on the mineral water, and the first time in 15 years he's completely pain-free. And so, my partner checks with him every day, and he's no, it hasn't come back. I'm still pain-free. So that's the ongoing. Then the second person had a 4-year-old daughter that ever since a little baby was autistic, never spoke a word, and would just rock back and forth. 4-year-old girl. And so his other person that works with him he told her about the minerals and had me send a bottle of minerals to her. So I did. I sent a bottle to her. And she put her daughter on the minerals. And in 1 week's time, that autistic child was now jumping up and down, bouncing all over the bed. And now guess what she was doing now? Singing. She had never spoken a word before. Now she's singing.
Wow.
This is an autistic, and I have a distributor that specializes in autistic children, and I even have a video of her working with these kids. It's amazing the difference that these kids in a short time with autism, it helps them get out of that autism. The older they are, the harder it is. I've had people that were autistic in their 20s, and they do get some help, but not anywhere near as much help as the young ones that are just a few years old. If they're started on the minerals right when they're still young, that can be reversed. Autism can be reversed. I went down to Florida when I first got introduced to these minerals. And, when I asked the company if I could become a distributor back then, and, I talked with the president of the company for over 5 hours the first time we talked. And anyway, we were, telling stories of what our friends experienced and so on. So he said, okay, Fred, yeah, I think you'd be a good distributor. Yes, you can be a distributor. 2 weeks later, he called me. He said, Fred, I've got to go down to Florida. I usually take one of my distributors with me. And Fred, if you're available, I would like to choose you to go with me this time. You can help me carry the bottles of minerals, and you will attend all the meetings that I have to speak at. I have meetings with doctors, psychiatrists, and so on. And the best way for you to learn about these minerals is to come with me, listen to me, answer the questions of these doctors and so on. So I said, yeah, I'll go with you. So I went to Florida with him. One of the doctors was a psychiatrist, okay, a medical doctor with the advanced psych degree. And she had a 10-year-old son that had been autistic ever since he was a little baby. Never said a word in his life. And he would rock back and forth. Terrible time trying to get him to go to sleep at night. He would never touch any of the toys. She bought him brand new toys, and he would just not touch them at all. He'd rather just knock them on the floor, get them out of his way. Wouldn't touch them. Never looked her in the eye. Never spoke a word. So this psychiatrist, decided, well, okay, I'm willing to test this on my 10-year-old son. So she started giving these minerals to her 10-year-old son. And so on the 7th day of him drinking the minerals, he stopped rocking and went to sleep easily that night for the first time. 3 days later, on the 10th day, she heard these strange sounds coming out of her son's bedroom. And so she got up. And when she opened the door to his bedroom, lo and behold, he was on the floor, out of bed, playing with these toys that he had never touched before in his life. But he was playing with them. And then he looked up at her, looked her straight in the eye in the doorway. And he said, "Hi, Mom." First 2 words he ever spoke in his life. "Hi, Mom," on his 10th day. And I met his mom and so on. I was there. It's just, there's so many stories I can share. I have hundreds and hundreds of them. And these that you're reading, Gail, these are just some of the ones that were written into us. They didn't have to write these stories to us, but they're so faithful that they do.
Well, okay, let's remind everybody too, once again, that if you use the code GOG when you purchase the minerals, you will get a discount from Fred.
Yes.
That you saw it on this. And if you happen to forget, you can call him and he'll still honor it. Just remember that. I'd also like to mention, I do have across the screen running at the bottom is my Telegram channel. And I would encourage you to take a look at it because I posted a lot of interesting information for the times that we're in at this point in time. Many are saying that the so-called event is very close. And so take a look at that for your own information. And let's see. And Fred's website is listed on there, VitaliUSA.com. Now you have another product, Fred. I don't want to address it today because we will need to look at it in greater detail because it's really important too. And that is the iodine product that you carry.
Yes. We have a very good high quality iodine product. And the only reason that we started carrying that, I'll just tell a little bit of history. I received a phone call from the head of a military camp. This was, probably 12 to 13 years ago when I first got involved with the minerals. And the head of this military camp called me and said, "Now, Fred, you are not to take any notes. You're not to repeat anything that I'm going to tell you right now, but I'm going to share with you why I'm calling you. I have received a phone call from high up in our government saying I had to evacuate the camp, and I had 2 hours to evacuate the camp. Any civilians, they had to get out of the camp within 1 hour. 1 hour, we had to get rid of all civilians. 2 hours, we had to get rid of the other people and the soldiers and so on. And anyone that stayed in the camp for guarding it or whatever other reason, they had to be in full protective suit, helmet, and everything, because a radioactive cloud is heading straight for your camp. Well, it turned out that there was an atomic plant that had sprung a leak, and this cloud was forming because of the radioactivity coming out of that atomic plant, and it was heading downstream right at this facility. And so long story short, the head of the camp developed radioactive poisoning. And the military doctors, the top doctors of the whole military, the only thing that they could find that would heal this person of the radioactive poisoning was our minerals and standard process iodine. And a third thing was a diet from seafood that was developed by the Japanese. And so those three things is what they used. And so this person was able to get healed from that radioactive poisoning. And then about a month later, it came back, and that person was sick again from it. And when asked, why? Well, it turned out that leak in that plant was not sealed up. And so actually, this person, the head of the camp, got sick with radioactive poisoning 3 times in a row. And the only thing that cured this person or made them better, got rid of the radio, was our minerals and that standard process iodine in that diet. And finally, 6 months later, that leak was fixed in that atomic plant. And on page 6 of the local newspaper, it was reported that, the plant, had a leak and radioactive stuff was coming out of the plant, but don't worry, it's all been fixed now. It's no longer there. But a number of people were reporting getting sick, and the reason they were really getting sick was because of a virus that had been released. Go to your pharmacy and go buy that Z-Pack stuff out of the pharmacy, and that'll help you. Well, that made the head of the military camp so mad that they knew that this was a complete lie, a cover-up, and that they told me that they knew there were going to be tens of thousands of people in that area that were going to die from cancer as a result of that. And it made this person so mad that that person wanted to become a distributor and get a bunch of the minerals from me to give to their friends and relatives and neighbors and so on in secret. So I was preparing to do that, send a big bunch of the minerals to this person, and getting all set to do that. We were making arrangements, and then all of a sudden, that person disappeared. It's been 12 years. I've never heard from that person ever again. I tried calling their number, gone, no answer. I think that the phone call was tapped, and I think they got rid of that person.
Wow.
But anyway, so that answers the question, Gail. Why did I start offering iodine? Iodine is so important, and that's a whole nother topic that we could talk about.
I know. We're going to have a show on that. I think we'll have a show every other week or so and bring up other topics and other testimonials. So again, if anybody in our listening audiences tries the product, we'd like to hear from you and how it impacted your life. That would be really, really, really important. And one thing that I'd like to mention too, I know that we are basically, as a population, being microwaved. You can see that. And if you know how microwaving works, it's going to dehydrate you substantially. When these minerals will hydrate your body at 32% rather than
2 to 4.
2 to 4%. That's a big difference, and that will help protect you from that very process of them doing that to us, because they're trying to get rid of us. But anyway, they're not going to succeed because we were made wonderfully by our Creator. We just need the ability to be able to, we need to give the body what it needs to operate at its optimum capacity, and minerals are absolutely critical because it affects our bioelectric field and the enzyme systems, the water, the hydration levels, and so on. And this is why I believe that people are having such wonderful results. And I'm so happy to be able to share this with you. And you can have your own experience. And don't forget, if you use the GOG, you will get a discount.
And I might mention too, Gail, in closing here shortly, I have many, many medical doctors, chiropractors, naturopathic doctors that are distributors of these minerals from me. And, if there's anyone in the medical field or anything that's listening to this that would like to inquire about how they could, become a distributor, I've set up many distributors, and I make it very, very worthwhile for the distributors to make money at this. If anyone is interested in becoming a distributor, I make it very easy, so just write to me at the www.
I wish I had known about this, Fred, many years ago when I was practicing as a nutritionist, because I certainly would have become a distributor of this product, because I'm so thrilled with the level of healing and help that it brings to people. And everybody has their own issues or health problems or whatever. And again, we're not medical doctors and we're not diagnosing or prescribing anything. All we're saying is people have had absolutely amazing results that cannot be denied, and you will have your own special story as well. And if you want to share it, we will share it on the show.
My standard answer when people ask me, can I help with this? I don't know. You just have to try it and see.
Yes.
That's my answer. I don't know. Everybody is different. And I just did another program with another interviewer that talked about how important that the lymphatic system was, and how to, some people don't get the help that they need because, these toxins. Okay, so the toxin is released in our bodies, okay? And so you need to drink plenty of the treated water to help flush those toxins out. But if you don't do that, where do the toxins go? They'll go to different parts of the body. They'll go to the lymphatic system, and they'll clog that up.
And they store it in fat too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had a whole show just on that just an hour ago with another interviewer. Yes, I did.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's very important. That's how we get rid of this stuff. So I can't emphasize how important minerals are from a nutritional standpoint. Your body just functions so much better. We're not getting them. And the other thing that I forgot to mention earlier, or maybe I did, about glyphosate will bind minerals. So if and everybody is, because there's all those GMO foods, and one of the things they were able to do is totally saturate those seeds that their farmers are required to buy from them once they make a contract with them. Yeah. They can literally saturate that crop with this horrible herbicide or pesticide.
And who eats that crop? Oh, maybe the cows, maybe the livestock, maybe the humans, maybe the bread that's baked with that wheat that's saturated with that stuff. Where does that stuff go, Gail? How do you get rid of it? We have lab reports that show that we get rid of that out of the body. And when put on the soil, we get rid of it out of the soil too.
Amazing. So we'll be having other shows about the applications in farming, the applications in
yes,
and other things of that nature, plus more information on the iodine, which is absolutely critical as well, especially with everything that's going on. It's so important to stay healthy right now.
Yes.
We're in for a lot. There's a lot coming forward.
That's right.
And you need to be able to rely on your physical body. And this is a good way to really support it. So that being said, I really appreciate the information and the wonderful product you have, Fred. And we'll come back again, and I'll bring Fred on again, and we'll talk more about some other things as well. So thank you so much for watching. Just remember that live the way you want to be remembered. And I know people are going through a lot of things right now, and sometimes the thing that breaks our hearts ends up fixing our vision of what's really important. And I got all these little sayings written up here that I wanted to bring up, but
that's great.
I think they're really good. Truth is, you had a purpose before anyone had an opinion. So finish your mission. So help your neighbor, be out there, promote, spread kindness, and be loving and help your neighbor in any way that you can.
There were so many questions here on the site, Gail. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to go to www.vitellausa.com and submit a question to me, and I will get back with you. I will even give you my personal cell phone number. We can talk. I can answer. I do that. That's my job, Gail, is to educate people.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Fred, and thank you for listening, everyone. And I hope you get a chance to try this. And we'll see you again in not too long.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Good. Thanks again, Gail.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now, don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show